No siemanko, dzień dobry. Witam Was wszystkich bardzo serdecznie. Drodzy Państwo, dzisiaj mam dla Was krótki wywiad z Matthew, który jest częścią teamu AgentLayer, który pojawił się na moim kanale kilka tygodni temu. Projekt AgentLayer zajmuje się agentami AI, a Matthew opowie nam o nim trochę więcej. Dowiemy się, co planują na przyszłość, kiedy listing tokena, kto konkretnie pracuje nad tym projektem i jaka jest ich wizja. A na koniec będę miał dla Was coś specjalnego, także koniecznie oglądajcie do końca. No i tradycyjnie, już nie przeciągając, zapraszam na intro! So I have here Matthew with me, which is part of the team of AgentLayer. Matthew, you can introduce yourself properly and say something more about AgentLayer.
Hey guys, happy to be here. Yeah, I'm Matthew, and at AgentLayer, we are essentially providing the tools and platform for people to create AI agents that can work together in a decentralized and permissionless manner to onboard the next million agents from Web 2 to Web 3.
So could you tell us more about the problems you are solving at AgentLayer?
Yeah, for sure. So the biggest issue we see with AI agents, and just to be clear for the viewers out there, I like to think of AI agents as essentially chatbots like ChatGPT, but instead they can take real world action. So for example, it would be able to go to a website and go through that whole process of buying you an airplane ticket. And at the moment, the issue we see is that there isn't really a platform for agents to work together. And a lot of these AI agents are made in isolation. And so a good example of this actually is I used to work at a company with a friend of mine, and he recently launched his own company that raised around 35 million to make AI agents for customer support for large enterprises. I think they're doing a great job, but for them to be really successful, I think their AI agents need to be working with other AI agents out there, which, if you think about it, right, it's going to make their impact something from right now, which is very localized, into something that is much more broad and impactful, and helping them realize their true capabilities. So that's really the big problem we're trying to solve here at AgentLayer.
So could you tell us more, a little bit about agents which are already existing on AgentLayer?
Yeah, so as you can see on the screen right now, these are the ones that we've developed, and there's kind of a wide range of capabilities for them right now. So like Aegis and the wallet one, these ones are more focused on like security and auditing. So you can use, for example, like the wallet checker to check your wallet for any potential vulnerabilities, and as well like use these to like edit and then audit your smart contracts, and help you write code. And these are the more serious ones, and there's kind of some fun ones as well. I think if you scroll down, you'll see. And then there's some more casual ones, like Fortuna, where every day you get a chance to draw something from a pool. And so there'll be ETH, there'll be Bitcoin, and etc. So kind of just a little for fun and casual one, and there's going to be a lot more of these in the future. These are just the ones we've made. We're actually releasing our SDK for developers to create their own AI agents. So there's going to be a lot of capabilities, and then hundreds of agents here in the near future as well.
So what I understood, Fortuna will be kind of like a raffle giveaway?
That's correct, yes.
Cool. And our nodes, APGN, they are mining token agent. Could you tell us more about utility of the token and tokenomics?
Yeah. So think of the agent token as primarily a way to pay to access the AI agents on the AgentLayer platform. And so as you just saw earlier, there's basically half a dozen pretty powerful AI agents for a variety of different use cases. And once we have our SDK, which I also mentioned earlier, out by the end of June, we expect there to be hundreds or even thousands of AI agents made by developers. And so currently, like the ones that do smart contract auditing, pretty serious and pretty, I would say, specific use cases, and there should be lots of AI agents for lots of these different use cases. You can also use the agent token to invest in AI agents, which I think is pretty exciting, and you'll be able to share in the revenue there. So, for example, let's say you think that the one that allows you to allows you to like buy airplane tickets will be very popular and will generate a lot of revenue. As a node owner, you can essentially distribute more of your tokens into the revenue sharing of that specific agent, as opposed to, for example, other agents on the platform. And so the token allows you to do that.
So you could do, like, for example, staking on the current agent, which will share his revenue with you, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Cool stuff. This I didn't know about it, actually. And
Yeah, something.
something about tokenomics, please. We know that 40% of the whole agent supply is going to the node holders.
Mhm. Yeah, so actually, I think it's a bit more than that. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's around like 52% goes back to the community. And I think that's quite a bit more than usual protocols. But for us, I think it's important because, especially because of that kind of ecosystem we're trying to create, where people can come develop their own AI agents, deploy them, have users use them, and everybody kind of wins out in the end. And so we really want to make that pool for the community and the developers as big as possible. And so I'd say that's the biggest takeaway around the tokenomics.
So do you have some cool partnerships coming up? I know that you are partnering with AgentLayer, which is restaking protocol for Ethereum. Anything new, fresh?
So it's kind of interesting, but the team is doing a great job. There's partnerships practically every week. We have dozens of partnerships already. So they're doing a great job. And frankly, like I can't even keep up with how many partners we're coming on board recently, which I think goes to show, you know, people are excited about what we're doing. But I think just to name like maybe one that I think is pretty interesting. So that we partnered with this one company called bitget, which is essentially what they do is they're trying to create like trading bots and various other things on their platform on the blockchain, and we're collaborating with them to create essentially AI enhanced financial tools to help them with detecting like fraud and boosting security in their financial transactions. And so that's just one of many interesting partnerships we have, and there's likely going to be a lot more coming up in the future as well.
Cool. Do you have any specific partnership which, in your opinion, pushed the development of your project further?
So I would say yes and no. I think the development of the project really, I would say, if we're speaking technically, is mostly on ourselves, because I think AI agents are something that are very new, and highly technical and highly AI focused. And so that's kind of where our team excels, is on the research and development side of things. And so we believe we're bringing the cutting edge when it comes to large language models and various technology that we're using. And whereas most of the partnerships we're establishing now are mostly for utility, so taking the AI agents and applying them to other Web3 projects. So like in the case of the example I just gave earlier, helping them with security, helping them with transactions using AI. I would say that's where it's most helpful to us because we already have the tech in place. We just need to distribute it to other projects, and that's the best way to help us grow at the moment.
And what is the new milestone, the next milestone on your roadmap? What we can expect to come now?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple big things. So um, end of this month is the SDK release, and so naturally developers can start building and deploying these AI agents through AgentLayer, and I think that's very exciting because of course we're going to have so many AI agents available for people to use, and people can invest in these, get revenue sharing. I think that's really when the ecosystem is going to start popping off and doing really well. And then the end of July, we're going to have our token generation event, and that's when we expect things to really come together and really start taking off as well. And then August and onwards, we're going to be doing a lot of ecosystem and community building, hosting hackathons, just spreading the word, getting people to develop on AgentLayer using the agents, and I think things will pick up nicely after that.
That's a good way. You have a pretty good backing, by the way. And could you
Thank you.
tell me more about engaging your community? I know that you are running the airdrop campaign. Do you have any new cool stuff which you would like to share with my community?
So I'd say there's something big coming up very soon, but I'll keep it under wraps for now because I think it'll be very interesting when it comes out, and you'll be quite aware of what I'm talking about. But and I would say in general, um, yeah, I think the community's doing a great job of supporting us at the moment, and so we just hope that we'll have your continued support, and we're excited to bring you new things moving forward.
More than 5,000 nodes are sold for now, I seen, so more than 25%. And could you tell me more about your team, which is working? I know that you have pretty good advisors as well, the university professors from all around the world.
Yeah, so the team is super strong, and we have about a dozen people. And like you said, we have advisors from universities all across the world. And actually, most of the founding team are PhDs, at least the core ones working on the technology. And even one of our co-founders is a pretty established professor at a university in Asia, in Singapore. And so I would say, for a project like this, it's important that we have a good mix of both highly technical individuals that know how to bring the cutting edge tech of AI to users in Web3, but also have people that know how to sell it and spread the word, right? And so most of this team actually was the founding team behind another project called MetaTrust, which raised around $10 million a few years ago to build a security protocol, and that ended up doing pretty well for investors as well as the founders, and so that's why we were able to get the backers that we got that you showcased briefly earlier.
Mhm. I've been searching about the MetaTrust before as well. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Could you tell me more about your like personal drive? What actually make you to come to AgentLayer and create all of this stuff?
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of luck, and I guess past connections. So in 2022, I was working at this Web3 VC actually, based in Asia. And so a friend of mine there, a coworker, um, basically was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go join this protocol," which was MetaTrust, and then eventually turned into this as well, or I guess branched off into this. And he asked me, "Hey, like, do you want to join me in this?" And I had already been working in AI for the last year or so. It's like, "Oh, this is right up my alley," and I knew he was good for his word and someone that I'd worked with in the past, and so it just made sense for me to come join. I'm very happy that I did so.
Sure, I think it's a great project and you have a great future ahead of you. AI agents are getting more and more popular, so I hope
Mhm.
the token is gonna pick up very soon. When is
Yeah,
the TGE planning the token generation event?
yeah. So we're thinking end of July probably, and don't want to jump the gun here, but we're definitely in talks with some of the really big exchanges like OKX, KuCoin, etc. And so one of them is definitely gonna be doing the listing for us, and we'll probably be doing so on some dexes as well. And as for the initial price, we're thinking probably around 10 cents, but that's going to be more solidified as we get closer to the actual event.
Yeah, I hope the selling pressure not gonna be very high on this event because usually when people are farming for too long time with nodes, the selling pressure is really huge, so it can dump the price of the token in the first
Yeah.
upcoming days, and then we need to wait for a couple of months for some new projects or some new products or for some new utility to see the price really pick up.
Yeah, so that's definitely a big concern, and And which is why we set up the kind of release schedule as well as various other things to kind of counter that. And so, for example, one of the things that we've been thinking about is essentially making sure that people can get sustained value out of the project. And that's why we're releasing the SDK end of this month so that we have about a month of time to have people start creating these agents and developing this ecosystem, this virtuous ecosystem of people building agents, other people using these agents, and really having value accrue in the app, right? And so that way, when the token generation event happens, right? Sure, there's always going to be people that dump their tokens right away for a quick profit, but because there's going to be so much value accrued on the platform already, we actually don't expect that to be too bad, and that we could see the price go back up to 10 cents and then go beyond that as well as more value accrues here. So there's various things like that that we have planned to make sure that it doesn't um, go too far down and that it can quickly recover.
Well, what is the float on TG?
Sorry, what was the question?
How many percentages of the tokens gonna be released on TG?
So I think it's around 10%, and
10%.
then there's going to be more coming shortly after that.
So the market cap should be around 5 million, if I'm counting well.
So if it's 10 cents and then we're releasing 10%, I thought it'd be like 10 million, but you know, I could be
Okay.
wrong. I'd have to get some more information on that. Yeah.
So, what's in your personal opinion, what's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest features we should wait for in AgentLayer?
So I think actually, like, you know, of course, token generation event, most exciting, but I'd say the big one actually is the SDK, in my opinion, because I'm also a developer. But when we think about where the actual value is for a project like this, I think it's 100% in the ecosystem and the AI agents themselves. So their capabilities and what they can do, and the variance in their capabilities and how they work together to create more value, right? And so I think when that gets released and people start actually building their own AI agents, I think that is going to be the most exciting thing, because people will be able to see right away, oh, this is, you know, very impactful, and they'll want to use these AI agents, right? And like I've given very simple examples with, you know, purchasing plane tickets, and that can be helpful, but maybe not used that often. But there can be AI agents that do things for you on a daily basis that are very useful and powerful. And I think when people see these things and start to realize, oh, I actually want to use this and I'd pay for this on a daily basis, they'll realize, wow, this is so much value, and it's sustained value. And that'll give them the confidence in this project moving forward. So I think for me, that's kind of the most exciting thing that's coming up in the near future.
Exciting future ahead of us. By the way, are you planning to show up on some crypto events in near future? For example, I'm going to Singapore for token 2049. Can we meet up there maybe?
Yeah, I usually tend to go to these events. So I'll probably be there. And if not, then certainly some representative from our company will be there. I'm pretty sure actually, yeah, the person that I'm acquainted with at the company is from Singapore, so he has no reason not to be there. So at the least you can meet him, and more than likely I'll be there as well. So would love to meet in person and chat.
Very cool. So that's all I could ask you actually. Do you have some last words to my community?
Sure. Yeah, I think in general, we're very excited about what's coming, and especially with SDK and having these AI agents. And you know, when they start coming out, if you're a developer, we'd love to see you develop on here and create these AI agents. And as if you're owning a node, or even if you just want to, you know, use these AI agents and excited to hold some tokens, please come and try these AI agents out. And of course, if you have any suggestions or feedback, just let us know in either Discord or Telegram, and we'll be sure to get back to you and implement your suggestions. So, thank you.
Thank you as well, Matthew. Nice to meet you. All the links, of course, you can find in the description below. Thank you very much. No i dobrze, więc wydaje mi się, że wyciągnęliście kilka wartościowych informacji co do projektu. Matthew uchylił rąbka tajemnicy, cena listingu tokena jest zadowalająca, a market cap cały czas bardzo niski. Do tego utility i ten revenue sharing daje dość dobrą perspektywę do wzrostu. Ale teraz przejdźmy do najlepszego. Robimy giveaway na 2 nody i każdy, kto skorzystał z mojego kodu, konkretnie do 22 czerwca, więc macie jeszcze 2 dni, żeby wziąć udział w losowaniu, ma szansę na wygranie noda od AgentLayer. Wiem, że mają jakieś ciekawe informacje, które będą publiczne już niedługo. Losowania pewnie nie będziemy robić w niedzielę. W niedzielę to się robi, się odpoczywa albo się robi live'y, a mam w planach fajnego live'a, więc ogłoszenie wyników będzie w następnym tygodniu. Więc tyle ode mnie. Dzięki wielkie. Trzymam za Was kciuki. Powodzenia. Poproszę zostawić łapkę w górę. Siemanko, pozdrówki. Jo. Ja to bym chciał, żeby ten konkurs na Noda Delizjum był tak szybko też rozwiązany, bo już normalnie... Ale nie możemy tutaj za dużo zrobić. Musimy czekać na zakończenie głosowania na Binance. Obyśmy nie musieli czekać, aż CZ wyjdzie z więzienia.